Back with you tonight on In Focus. We start here in Gauteng, where emergency services are on high alert ahead of this weekend's cold snap. The South African Weather Service warned of a significant drop in temperatures in most parts of the province starting from tomorrow, with some showers expected. In a statement, EMS spokesperson Robert Mlaudzi has urged residents to use all heating equipment safely to prevent fire incidents. Mlaudzi says disaster management monitoring teams have been set up in all 7 regions of the city to ensure swift response to any incidents which might occur. At the same time, the South African Weather Service has issued a warning for possible flooding in KwaZulu-Natal this weekend. It comes just a month after that province has seen the most devastating floods, which killed nearly 450 people in the province. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala has urged people to take every care in the bad weather. Premier Zikalala joins us now to elaborate on the province's preparedness. Premier, good evening and thank you very much for your time. You mentioned earlier on that disaster teams are on high alert, full alert, following the warning of more rain and possibly some snowfall this weekend. How are you staging this particular alertness, and how swiftly would you be able to respond should disaster strike?
Well, thank you, and thanks for having us in your program. We are on high alert. All our disaster teams are on high alert. We have interacted and passed the message to all district disaster management teams in all districts. But more than that, we're activating community workers to also inform the people. We're also using all forms of communication to pass the message so that all people will stay on alert, because it is estimated that firstly we will have serious cold, but also that will come with rainfall, which also might lead to some form of disaster or heavy rain. So we have activated all structures, and we hope that we will be able to mitigate all possible effects.
Yeah. A month on, Premier, with, of course, the wake of the devastating floods, there are still some areas that have not seen repairs. In fact, the opposition saying that at least a large number of the wastewater network is damaged. It's not even beginning to see 80% of the water that should be flowing from there. Only a single one so far as they are counting, has been sorted out, and this is creating some kind of concern. Why is it taking so long to restore these areas? Because if, again, as you mentioned earlier, you're worried about the saturation of water still on the ground. If you get 20 millimeters of water, it's another disaster, yet you still have not sorted out things like sewage that is now leaking into the system.
Yes, but a lot of work has been done. When it comes to water specifically, number of areas water has been restored. The only areas that are challenging are areas such as Tongat, where the actual water treatment plant was washed away. It's going to take us a few months to restore that. The city is working together with Tongat to ensure that that treatment plant is refurbished or the new one is installed. We have managed to ensure that water supply is reconnected in the south of eThekwini and in all other districts. So others are concentrating only in eThekwini, but we look on the province as a whole, and that's why we can assure you that it is not just 80%. Few water treatment plants have not been restored. We can also account that when it comes to electricity, more than 100 substations were destroyed, and most of them have been repaired and reconnected. There are few areas such as the Outer West where they will have daily interruption of electricity due to overload. Yeah. But it is not that there is less progress. Everything is being done to ensure that services are reconnected and restored.
Yeah. So, I mean, you are exempt from load shedding currently that is experienced everywhere else in the country. So are you saying those outages that those areas are seeing are not due to load shedding, but they are due to the power stations overloading at this particular point?
Yes, it's correct. You find that some power stations are overloaded because of the heavy capacity that they have to produce in a short period. And that's what creates some disruptions in the outer west. But in most areas of KwaZulu-Natal, electricity has been restored. We know that there is a problem of drainage system, the sewer system in various parts, especially in eThekwini, and that is being attended by the municipality.
Yeah. We are, of course, expecting a drop in temperatures, which means demand for electricity is also going to be high. If you were experiencing outages without the drop in temperature, surely that capacity is going to be pushed even more with the demand for heaters and so on. How are you going to respond to that?
Well, we will try our best to ensure that all substations are monitored and the capacity is monitored. We believe that if it comes to the push, we will have some means that will be done, maybe like it's happening in the West, where you will find that due to overload, they will cut services for a particular period in a particular area, service others, then alternate in that way. So that kind of a rotational approach will need to be applied. But we also call on the people that even if they use heater mechanisms, let them be responsible and know that they don't just have to use those intervention in a way that is not responsible. They must continue to protect themselves. They must continue to work in a way that understand and save the energy, which is the electricity, as well as water.
Right. You've put a price tag on the damage caused by the floods, estimated 25 billion rands. Is that the final one now?
Yes, but in terms of the departments and the municipalities, the estimated damage is around 17 million. Then the rest pertain to the infrastructure that belongs to national agencies, such as your Transnet, your PRASA, the Sanral. So those, you'll find that they are accounting for something like 7 billion to 8 billion. Then the rest is for various departments and municipalities.
Okay, so let's just clear that. It's not 17 million, you meant to say 17 billion that have got to do with the municipalities.
Yes, 17 billion to be correct. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, and have you managed to successfully then lobby national for the contingency reserve funds? How are you funding that?
Well, the manner in which the national or the disaster management works, it requires that the organs of the states that are affected compile a detailed report and submit to the National Disaster Management Center. And that has been done. We believe that as we have quantified all damages and submitted based also on scientific reports of engineers, then the national government will look on that, then respond to whether they are able to meet the demands based on the assessment that we've done.
Yeah. There's a perception that there is just a snail pace at releasing these funds. Maybe there's just reluctance from a national to assist the province. Do you get that sense, or is there a willingness? Are they able to currently help you with the funds? What is taking so long? I'll tell you why. Because, for example, you get private individuals who are able to raise funds much quicker and build a bridge there in eThekwini more than you've been able to restore that bridge?
Well, firstly, let's also correct that, because eThekwini was the first to rebuild the bridge within 5 days from the disaster occurrence. So I think we must be clear on that. But the national government is working with us. Recently, I think as of Saturday, we had a meeting with the national ministers, Minister of Culture, Minister in the Presidency, and Minister of Finance. We are also moving with speed because they needed us to submit, which we have done, and the submission should be based on properly assessed a report and based on engineering report. So we have submitted all of that, and we believe that they will then fast track so that the response is effected with speed.
Yeah. Has the ad hoc committee touched ground in KwaZulu-Natal? Have they done their walkabout in assessing the situation?
Well, the parliamentary ad hoc committee has not been with us, but we are in touch with them, and we know that they are working with the legislature and committees of the legislature to ensure monitoring. I can also say that as the government in the province, we are in touch with the Human Rights Commission as well as the Office of the Public Protector, and both have been on the ground visiting various shelters where homeless people are housed. So we are working with those Chapter 9 institutions which are monitoring whether the services and the response that we provide as government meets the standard that is required.
Premier, as always, we appreciate your time and your engagement tonight here on In Focus. That is the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala.